Lab Chef Gaming. We are going to start a new series, which is basically playing for beginners by a beginner, and we are actually going to start from the very beginning. I went ahead and added an alt account so that we can actually start directly from the beginning. So when you load into the game and you've downloaded and set your account and password and everything like that, you're going to be presented with these options. First option is, what do you want to play? Do you want to play as the USA? Do you want to play as Japan? Or do you want to play as the UK? I think we'll go ahead and play as Japan because they're kind of a fun one to start with. So we'll hit battle, and it's going to probably take us straight into a battle. Yes, it is. So it's going to give you some hints on how to play, what our missions are up here. Basically, our mission right now is just to eliminate all ships. And after our countdown, we will start the game. Now, with any new game, you're going to start as a level 1 cruiser, depending on which nation you decided to choose. For Japan, that will be the Hashidate, which is a pretty low-level ship. Right now, all it has is HP. And does move kind of slow, but we'll go ahead and go out here. Right now, these are just training battles, so we're not actually in any real battles. You'll notice that we do have a reticle. That is the standard one for the game itself. And as we go out, we are going to encounter a few enemy ships. So like I said, these early level ships are extremely slow, so it does take a minute for us to get to someone. Oh, we're already getting action. Alright, so the nice cruisers, the early ones, they're pretty maneuverable. And we're going to go ahead and just try to hit this ship. Now, one of the key techniques to not getting destroyed immediately is to basically not go broadside to these ships. Because you do get hit pretty hard.
The ship is on fire.
Now these early cruisers do have a way to regenerate. We're going to go ahead and wait just a minute until either the fires get worse or we get down to about half level. We just missed majorly. Now if you'll notice, he is broadside, which means we can just continue to sit here and hit him time after time after time. And the whole concept with HE is you want to kind of hit the front and the back and the middle and start fires. Unfortunately, right now, the early ships don't really start fires. Alright, so that's one down. So we'll just continue doing the same thing over and over again. And we started a fire with that one. That is our goal. So we can actually try to hit the front of the ship and start a fire, which we didn't do.
Concentrate fire on the designated target.
Okay, and we actually did start a fire with that one.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
So same thing here. We're going to aim for Citadel or the tower, as the case may be.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
And if we can start a fire, that means that it's continuous damage for these ships.
Enemy cruiser foundered.
Wow. There's our last
Enemy
one.
cruiser sunk.
And if you notice our little icons up here, it'll tell us exactly what kind of ship it is. You get back. What kind of ship it is and what their hit points are. So we did receive some experience enough that we can actually get another ship. Hit close. And these are our stats basically, so we did win. These are the money that we earned for this particular game, our experience, and our damage. Now, if we're looking at it, we do have what's called ribbons, and these ribbons tell us exactly what we did. We hit targets 44 times, we destroyed 5 ships, we started 4 fires, and we spotted ships 3 times. Up here on the top, we have other links or different tabs. This is our team score. So these are all of our ships, and you notice we were playing against bots and bots. So if you see these little 2 dots here, those mean that we're playing against bots. And then we have ourselves, the ship, how many we sunk, and the total number of points that we got or experience. With a detailed view, it'll also tell us each ship that we actually did damage to or destroyed. So this icon means destroyed, this icon means damage. It also will tell you, if you just hover over it, exactly what you did with each ship. So it'll tell you you had 19 hits with main batteries on this ship, 19 of them being HE, and total damage was 4,501. We do get a little bit of bonus, and we'll go into that in just a second. So each ship, you'll notice also on this last ship down here where it says modules damaged, we actually damaged a module as well as starting fires or other things. So if we go through, so it doesn't show fires, but if we go down here, it does show what our fires are. We did do 4 out of 258. These are our team play stats, and this is us. This is what we took in damage. The artillery that hit us, of that 21 was HE and other. There's no fires on our ship, but we did lose our propellers. And the last tab here is our credits and XP. So if you have a premium account, these stats will go up higher. So received for battle, 19,437, which was our total, and we did not spend anything. When we get later on in these games, playing each ship does require you to restock the ammo and support the ship. It does start to get a lot higher in costs that when you get into higher ships. Now, if you'll notice, we come over here to our premium account. If we had a premium account on this account, we would have gotten 29,000 credits, and we've also gotten more ship XP. So let's go ahead and go back to port, and it's going to give us lots of things to do. So you'll notice we just got this icon that says
Access level 2 unlocked. Now you can research, enhance, and purchase new ships.
Okay.
To unlock the next access level, play 2 battles.
So for in these interim battles or these interim levels while you're first learning, it's basically a tutorial mode. You do have to play several battles until you get into the actual game. So right now we do have tutorial missions, and if we look at them, it says enter a battle playing in a tier 2 ship, which we'll get to in just a second. It does have tips. So right now the tips are telling us that we have equipment, and this is our Hashidate, which is full at the moment. We can't do anything else with it. We can go to our tech tree, and this tech tree is basically where we're going to research and purchase new ships. So once it does its thing here, so it's asking us to research and purchase ships. So we're gonna close that, and we can come down here to our I'm gonna butcher this, Chaikuma, and we get this option here of what we can do. And you'll notice that we have some stats here, which will come into effect later on. We can go to our equipment for this ship, and you'll notice that to research it is 100 stars, which we have from our previous ship, which was 218, which we did get. These are all our modules that we will start with, and then there will be purchasable modules as well to get to our next ships. So let's go back to our tech tree, and since the game wants us to get a level 2 ship, we'll click on it, and it'll say, do you want to research or purchase it? So we do want to research it, so we'll say yes at this point in time. And do we have any? No, we do not have any doubloons, so we cannot purchase a slot, which does take 300 doubloons. But, and later on, we will actually get an option to research our ship with a commander. So we're going to go ahead and purchase it. And now we have a level 2 ship, the Chaikuma. And if you notice, we are actually in a where we can scan around and look at our ship. So if we look at our ship and we click on armor layout, it'll tell us what our armor layout is. And you'll notice that these are our different levels or thicknesses of armor. So you can see that our plating is 19 millimeters versus our hull plating, which is 13 and 11 respectively. Down here on our conning tower, it's 102 millimeters, which is one of the strongest places on our ship. And also our aft end plating. So our aft end will take a little more damage than anywhere else on our ship. Next thing is our survivability, which is our hit points. Our artillery. Now this is kind of cool. It'll tell you exactly what you have. You have 4 152 millimeter guns times 1. So that means that there is only one 152 millimeter cannon on this particular ship. So if we click on it, oops, let's go ahead and get out of armor layout. If we click on it, it'll actually zoom into what that particular cannon is. If we click on our secondary, which is 4 times 1, 76 millimeter. So we'll click on that. And here is our secondary battle guns here. We do have anti-aircraft guns, so we have 2 at 7 millimeter. If we click on those, it'll show us, and you can see they're up here on our conning tower. Continuous damage and priority sector. These are basically just talking about what your your AA defenses, your anti-aircraft defenses can do. Maneuverability. This is important when you're researching ships later on in the game. So you'll notice on our last ship we could only go 19 knots. This ship is significantly faster at 26 knots, and our turning radius is 530 meters. Rudder shift time is 5 seconds. What rudder shift time basically is how much time it takes for you to shift from going from either left to right or right to left, or basically if you're going straight to go either right or left. And our last one here is concealment, and so this basically tells us how far off we can be without being detected. So by sea, almost 9 kilometers. By depth, so we're talking submarines, is 0 to 4.2. By air, so an aircraft, 4.2 kilometers. And then assured detectability range is if you're within that 2 kilometers, you are guaranteed to be detected. So even if you're behind an island or if you're in smoke, you will be detected based on that assured detectability range. So let's go to our equipment, and you'll notice that we now have these particular modules loaded onto our ship, which come with the research and purchase of our ships. And then we have these other ones, which is basically upgrading our hull and our gunfire control. But right now, early in the game, these are not as important. We do notice that we had HE in our last ship. We also have AP on this ship, which is armor piercing. So HE stands for high explosive. So as it hits, it will explode and cause a fire. Armor piercing can have some explosive force, but what it actually does is will go through your opponent's armor and then explode. So if you're trying to hit the side of a hull, it will explode inside the ship as opposed to on the ship, which causes more damage. We'll also notice that our damage for AP is 2900, whereas for HP it is 2500. And you'll find later on in ships that AP usually hits a lot harder. On Japanese ships, it's almost a third more to 2/3 more for AP than HE on most of your cruisers and your battleships. All right, so let's go back to our tech tree, and you'll notice now we've purchased our level 2. We also have the ability to purchase a level 3 ship. If we click on it, it'll tell us, let's go ahead and minimize all of these for right now. Sorry. It'll tell us our research points is 1900. for any preceding module. So when we were talking about preceding modules, if we go into this, this is a preceding module. So you technically will have to buy this before you can research and purchase your next ship. Let's go back to, oops, sorry, let's go back to our tech tree and click on the Tenru again. So preceding module 650, and then required total with the two is 2,550, and there is a steep purchase price considering we have 950,000 credits right now. 256, we could technically buy it if we actually had the experience to do so. Later on, these ships, and I'll just click on, say, the Yamamoto as a good example. Research, you need 249,000 experience points on the previous ship, and you also need 20 million credits to purchase the Yamamoto. And to do that, you actually have to go down the entire line to get to the Yamamoto. So on my other game, I'm personally on the Izumo, which I have, and I've purchased everything, and I've researched everything up to the Izumo, and I am currently working on the Yamato. I keep saying that. I apologize. It's Yamato. I have done all of my preceding modules for that, so right now I'm currently working on my research experience, and I do have the money to purchase it once I get there. Alright, so let's actually get back to the game. I apologize for taking so long explaining that. So we do have a few options up here. We have our armory, and for right now in the very beginning, really not going to mean anything. It's basically going to show us what events are going on. So right now currently Dutch cruisers are our events. So if we hit show, it'll tell us what we're doing. And we open it, it's a purchasable bundle. So you notice this yellow thing here, it says doubloons. We don't currently have any doubloons because this is a brand new account and I have not purchased anything, but it costs 1,500 to actually get this bundle. And this bundle is a random bundle. So unfortunately, you may not actually get a ship. Right now, you can get some of these things, but you would have to purchase it over and over and over again, and up to 70 times. So if you notice, all bundles 70 pieces to get all of this stuff here. Also in our armory here, let's go into featured. So these are our current things that's going on. The Dutch cruisers we just saw. Santa Gifts and Wonders of the Arctic are going away very, very shortly. Purchase a premium account. You can do that with these battleship tokens, which we'll talk about other currencies very shortly. Holiday battleships. So let's open it. Right now, you can actually purchase bundles up to 60 at 750 doubloons, which is pretty expensive if you're not thinking about being serious and just want to play this game. So let's go. Oh, sorry, my apologies. That is not what I wanted to do. So let's go back to Armory and click on featured, and we were going to go down. So we have rare bonuses, again, doubloons, daily essentials. This is also a doubloon purchase. So if we go back one more and go down to daily ritual. Now, for those of you just starting this game, this is for free. You can do this up to 15 times in a month or within an act. These are all the things that you will get, and this is how many times you will get it. So today's available bundle is Elite Commander XP at 3,750. So let's go ahead and obtain that. And it'll say, here it is, we've got it. If we go back to our main page, sorry, my apologies. It should say, maybe under profile, I'd forgotten. It should say that we have XP as well. So Armory. Yes, I get that. I don't really want to play with that right now. Okay, so we're gonna have to go through this, and this is our Christmas event, like I said, which is ending very, very shortly. I think it's the 18th that it's ending, if I recall. All right, so this is our Santa gifts. These are ships. These are things that you can actually buy for currency, either doubloons or coal or steel. There is several currencies in this game. If you want to take a look at it right now, you're more than welcome to do that at any time. This is our commanders, so you can actually purchase commanders that have experience. So like this particular commander for, I think this is a US commander, will come with all of these things if you decide to buy it. Right now it is 175,000 coal. Our next thing is our containers. So if you're into like item drops, you can actually buy containers for the particular events. And there is all kinds of categories for these containers or these drops. You also get drops in game while you play. Customizations, these are flags. We'll go more into that later. Community, if you decide to actually, start getting into a community. This is our Dutch cruisers, which we saw earlier. Wonders of the Arctic, which like I said, is ending soon. Steel, another currency where you can buy ships, you can buy skins. And skins are just skins. They don't actually do anything other than look pretty. Our dockyard. Dockyard is a big event that's been going on for about 8 weeks now. And unfortunately, it will be ending fairly soon. I think it's got like 20 days left. And of course, this is where you would purchase doubloons. This is where you would purchase premium accounts if you're so interested. And you can see there's prices, real world prices. So this is basically you pay cash for these items. All right, so let's go back and we'll go to news. And if there's anything that they want to discuss in news, so our current version of this game is 14.0, which just came out about a week ago. If you actually read these on a common time, we can actually get a one-day World of Warships premium account if we hit claim your gift. So right now we currently have a premium World of Warships account, so we can actually get those added bonuses, and it also will go through all of those special events that are currently going on. So let's go back, and it wants us to actually play 2 battles. So let's go ahead, and we are actually in co-op. You cannot change co-op at this point. Until you've leveled up yourself, you can only play co-op. So let's go into battle with our level 2 ship. Oh, I take that back. We are actually on a level 1 ship. So to change that, you'll notice down here on our left, we have a list of ships. We can actually play any of those ships that originally were in that decision. We can play a UK ship, an American ship, or a Japanese ship, but we want to play our level 2 cruiser here. Let's go ahead and hit battle, and we'll go into co-op. And we probably will be playing mostly against bots in the initial. We may get another active player that's starting out. We may not. We can find out as soon as we get into the game. Now with co-op battles, there is a time restriction of 30 seconds. So once you hit 30 seconds, if there's no other players, you'll be playing against bots. So there's no long waits to play the game, but you will be playing against bots a lot of the time on these very, very early levels. So missions, we'll go over missions in a bit. Then this is who we're playing against. So we do have a couple of active players. We have these 2 dots, which like I said, are the bots. Tips, if you want to look through those at some time. And our divisions, we'll go over divisions at another time. So basically our mission is just to score points. You notice down here it says start battle, which will actually take us to our battle page. And you'll notice most of these guys are ladies. These players are all in cruisers, all level 2s. World of Warships does keep us at 1 above and 1 below, sometimes 2 above and 2 below when you get into higher levels. But for right now, it's going to be either 1 level above you or 1 level below you, or your same level that you are. Now, the whole mission for this particular mission is to capture the red area, the red flagged capped area. You'll hear people calling caps. I'm going to cap A or I'm going to cap B. Right now, there's only the 2 caps, which is the one we have, the green one, and the enemies, which is red. And you'll notice we're actually moving up. I'm not going at a full steam right now because I actually want to kind of keep it slow, because we do want to keep our particular cap safe from our enemy.
Enemy force sighted on the horizon.
And you'll hear that someone just spotted an enemy. And you'll notice way over here that we have a destroyer. Now you'll notice these icons are very, very small. When we can actually go into settings, and we'll do that after this game. Because right now you just can't see anything. There's zero information about what we have. And if you notice our map down here at the bottom, we have rings. Right now our rings are our spotted rings and our range. So right now, if you look at the red ships down there on the map, you'll see that this particular ship, which we don't know what it is because it doesn't say other than on the map, is within our range. So we're going to go ahead and fire HP at it. Another thing to notice is our ship down here at the bottom that tells us exactly what kind of guns we have. So we have 3 in the front, 1 in the back. Now we're going to go ahead and just continue to hit him for a minute until he either makes a turn. So you notice we're kind of veering off a little bit to the right. So we can actually aim just a little, or we're veering off to the left. So we can aim just a little bit to the right since he seems to be going to the left, or going to his left. And we kind of missed. We hit 1. And we're getting fired at crossways here. So we're going to go ahead right there. And that should both... Nope, got 1. So we can actually shift to AP at this point because we're going to be coming broadside to this particular cruiser. And if we hit it, we're actually going to go up for this one. And on the next one, we're going to actually aim for the side of the ship because we're going to be using armor piercing. And you'll notice that did do some damage. And we're going to just let him pass on by, and we're going to focus on this other ship over here. Now looking at our reticle.
Don't fire at your allies.
Oops. Sorry, that was our ally. I apologize for that one. Let's go ahead and turn. And you'll notice that we do have ships in our cap, which is not a good thing. So we need to go back and defend him. So we just destroyed that one.
You destroyed an enemy cruiser.
Anyways, I was saying about the reticle is that there's lines on here with numbers. And that is basically how much time it's going to take for your ammunition to hit whatever it is you're aiming at. Let me get turned around here and I'll explain just a little bit more. Alright, so as we're aiming here, you'll notice that we are 25 kilometers and this ship is moving at a particular speed. And it basically says, if you notice above it, that it's about 5 kilometers speed. So we could actually, as it turns closer to us, it's going to get narrower and narrower. Alright, we're going to switch back to HE for right now. So as it gets more and more broadside to us, it's the speed that the ship is actually going. So we hit him. And going back and forth between HE and AP is no problem. Alright, so we're waiting for our AP to load here. And there are particular spots on the ship that you do want to aim at. You try to aim your AP right there where the smokestacks are. That is pretty much where they consider it a citadel hit. And we're just kind of going to go toe-to-toe with this guy, I think. So you notice I hit him right there on the smokestacks, and we took him out with our AP. So we do have one other ship. Now we need to take out this guy. Now we have the range to do it. So if you notice, it says 5.2 kilometers. So if we go out right there, and he's turning, unfortunately. We did hit him. Also notice right here while I'm on my reticle, if you see these little mountain icon, that means you're actually behind an island, and if you throw out any ammo or any weapons, it's going to hit the island. So if we move along here, that should go away very, very shortly. We'll just kind of wait. It went away, so we can actually fire our guns. Right. So let's go after this guy. I'm switching back over to HE. Basically, if they're coming at you, HE is going to be one of your best things. Even broadside, it's still going to be very good as long as you hit the ship. Like I said, with HE, you want to hit up there near the tower, because you want to hit the deck, because that is exactly where it's going to start fires. And I am not quite aiming high enough, unfortunately. So he's moving out. Let's see if we can actually hit him. Start a fire. No, we're getting hits. Probably one more. You'll notice that little bar right there. It's basically says what his hit points are. We hit him. That should be enough. Yep. So we've destroyed another one. And this guy is coming. So where is our last ship? He is over there. So we did eventually cap the other side, and we are currently capping our particular side. You'll also notice up here at the top we have some numbers under those flags, and that is the points that we're getting for this particular game. Right now we're at 616 and our enemy is at 21. So we're about to win this game regardless. And that is the last ship that is on the enemy team. And you'll notice it's pretty low. And we hit an island, though. Unfortunately, we can go in reverse. Let's see if we can take him out. Oh, we would have. Oh, we did get the destroyed for that. That's kind of nice. So we did get quite a few credits, quite a bit of experience, and we did 17,000 in damage. This defended ribbon basically says that if there was an enemy ship in our particular cap, we hit him twice. Set on fires, obviously. That is how many times we set fires. And our targets hit. This is actually our secondary gun. So we hit our secondaries, or we hit a ship with our secondaries 9 times. I'm not going to go over the team score and everything else again, but we are going to go back to port because that is what it's asking us to do. And you'll notice we did get one of our battles. If we go back to our tutorial missions, it'll say enter a game, which we did. So we actually do get some experience for that, but we will need to do it twice for this particular game. So it says tutorial mission completed. If you want to click, it'll take you right back where we just were. Okay. And it probably, if we click here, down at the bottom, it's a little icon. It'll tell us what our games are, what our fees were, so servicing fees. So there was a servicing fee for our level 2 ship. If you notice, it was 1,860. We got a reward for completing that mission, which was 10,000 credits, and we also did receive that World of Warships account. If we click here on notifications, would say that our ship, our Hashidate, has been given elite status. And how you actually get elite status is to have your ship completely worked out. So all of the mods paid for and researched before you move on to the next ship. You basically have to do that to get an elite status. Now with that elite status, it does come with some things. If we hover over it, it doesn't say. So for right now, we're going to get a 50% bonus on our elite ships. And that is because it's an elite ship. So anything that we get, experience points, credits, anything like that, we're going to get an automatic 50% before we actually get any other bonuses like our World of Warships premium account. All right, so I wanted to go over some settings because unfortunately the settings that we have right now are not really good. So if we want to look at obviously our display settings, this will tell us what our display settings are, any color blindness filters if you need it. Graphics, common. I'm running a pretty high system, so I can run pretty much everything on high. I'm using my browser or my hardware, my GPU to hardware accelerate, although it's not really all that necessary. Feel free to go through these at your own leisure, change anything you may need. Audio, this would be all of our audio, so if you don't want audio, if you don't want the guy talking and telling you things, you're more than welcome to do that. Our communications, so this is our microphone settings, this is our volumes for that. If you do want to talk in game, unfortunately in this game people don't talk, they just type. So, but there is a way to do it, and that would be, I think it's the V key on this. We'll go over those controls. This is actually what I wanted to see. So we want to look at our crosshair shape. And if we go to setup, we have all of these particular reticles, and you'll notice I have a few up here. These 5 right here are actually mods, which I don't want to start with mods quite yet, but we'll go over it in a later episode. And if we click on these different static, you'll notice that they change colors or they change numbers. Like this one doesn't even have numbers, and what's like an angle. So these are all different reticles that you can use in game. I particularly like, if I'm playing the base game without any mods, I particularly like 1 or 2. So we're going to leave it on 2, and we're going to hit close, which will save it. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to this view, and this is the first thing I think anybody should do, is change this from simple to full. And what that actually does, when we go into our next game, will show you what that ship is. It'll give you a much bigger icon. It'll show their hit points much better. It's a lot more information about your enemy and yourself, your fellow colleagues that are playing as well. So basically, I recommend always be on full camera. You can change your field of view. Most people don't do this. Mouse controls. So this is basically anything that you would do with any of the keys: speed up, slow down, go to port, go to starboard. As you get further along in the game, you're going to have a lot more of these consumables. So I don't know if you noticed earlier that we actually recovered ourselves, so we used the R. We're not playing a submarine. Cameras, so you saw me zooming in and out, and that is actually the shift key to actually follow our shells that we've launched. If you hit the Z key, it'll actually follow them. C, most people don't use. Our free look camera, that is kind of nice to have, is that we can actually look around without our guns actually moving. And our free cursor for control is if you're trying to do something in the game that is not part of the game, like adjust your map or something like that, if you hit the control key, it'll actually unpin from what you're doing in the game. Full interface mode, show in high interface, we don't want to do that. There is one that I wanted to do, and that is this collision avoidance system. And that is on. I don't know why that didn't work for us in the last game, but for some reason it didn't. So we're going to go ahead and apply all these, and we're going to play one more game. So you notice we have 1 left. We'll go to battle. We are back on our Hashi data. I don't know how that happened, but as you click on these, it'll actually change your ship. And you can actually do it through your tech tree as well. So if I click on the Hashi data, I double click, it's going to change what ship I'm using. Or if I go to the one I want to play, it'll change it to the ship I want. I can go straight into battle from here as well. So again, probably a lot of bots, not a lot of people. I like to leave it on team members so I can actually see. Oh wow, we have a full group of people, no bots on our team, but as with co-op, all of our enemies will be bots. So, and if you see this pink, because it took me forever to figure that out, this is Violator. Basically, if you have left the game in the middle of a game, or if your computer crashes, something like that, you will get that Violator notice. And I think it takes 2 games for you to actually have it removed. So then you will actually go back to a full normal white status. All right, so we're starting. notice we're way over here on the right, so we could actually angle in towards our caps, or we could go straight, we could go off to one side. And one of the key things to this game is try to stay with your team. So we have a destroyer on our right. You notice our icons here tells us what the ship is, what kind of ship it is. So the little triangle there,
Give them a hard time.
the little triangle there is a destroyer, who the actual player is, and what their hit points are. And if you notice below, it tells us how far we are away from that ship. So if I was to actually zoom in and click on him, it will say I'm 3 kilometers away. Alright, so since we have cruisers in this game, that is one of the first things you want to destroy, are cruisers, because they can really mess you up. And they go pretty fast. Most cruisers have torpedoes and smoke. So if they go into smoke, then unfortunately, you cannot see them. They can see you, but you can't see them. Although destroyers do have very little hit points as compared to, say, cruisers or battleships, they can cause real havoc. So those are really the first ones you want to destroy. Ah, there's the torpedoes. Let's go ahead and angle out here so we don't actually... Since we have guns to our rear, we can actually fire on him from the rear if we can hit him. Fortunately, we really want to get rid of that destroyer, so we're going to actually angle over towards him. I think our next round we're going to go ahead and hit AP. You'll notice I clicked it, but I didn't actually click it twice. If you double click, it'll automatically go to the next type of round that you want. If you click it once, it'll do it after that particular round has fired. And we want to kind of, unfortunately, get away from him because he does still have active torpedoes. He's getting kind of low, so hopefully our next major hit will take him out.
Torpedoes.
So we did take him out. Fortunately, torpedoes are coming at us, so we want to kind of try to get away from them if we can.
Torpedoes to port.
And we did actually manage to miss these torpedoes. Torpedoes will mess up a ship pretty quickly. So, yeah, you want to avoid them at all possible cost. If that's getting away, slowing down, speeding up, something like that, that is the quickest way to do it. Oh, we got a pretty good little cross here.
Our victory is in sight.
So, unfortunately, he's going to go behind this island here, and we're not going to be able to hit him. Yep. So, fortunately, we can't do that. But we're going to steam back towards their cap. While we're here, maybe we'll try to take out other ships like that Weymouth, which is gone now. Can't hit anything right now. We can hit him. But we're really not hitting for much damage right now, unfortunately. So there is kind of a key when you're playing these ships. So with AP, basically you want to hit on the waterline if they're going straight at you. So since he's angled away, we're going to go a little bit up. You notice I do have a mod still on, and that is not... So if you notice down here, this is a mod that basically tells you the angle to your ship. We'll go over mods at a much later time, but this basically is a mod that says, hey, what angle you're at. So right now, if you notice, I'm in a bad angle for him because he can hit me broadside, but I can't. But he's a lot harder to hit right now. So we're going to go ahead and change over to HE. And I think we're actually going to try to turn and slow down a little bit and see if we can cap their side. Alright, so you'll notice that my angle here has improved. I'm in green, which means that it's a lot harder for them to hit me than it is for me to hit them. We did cause a fire, so that's
Victory
good.
is in sight.
Alright, so we have one ship left. This is one of the reasons I like mods, because, you know, the mod I do run on my regular game tells me what ships are still available and what their hit points are. Right now, you kind of have to look at the map to figure out what is going on. But you can see that it's kind of, if you look at the map, he's kind of coming towards us through this island, but he's kind of angled out away from us. So HE is probably going to be the best thing to hit him with. So he's very angled away. So we're going to aim up and just a little bit over. I think that may actually hit him pretty good. More fires. So we're actually going to go and still reverse here because we want to stay in this cap. All right, so right. So we did start a fire. And we should be able to take cap in 19 seconds if we don't destroy this guy first. And he is actually a battleship, so battleships do have a lot more hit points. They have a lot more armor, so they're a lot harder to take down than, say, a cruiser or a destroyer. You notice up here at the top, his total hit points are 38,000 as opposed to our 17,000 total hit points. So you can see that battleships, they are slower, but they have a lot more hit points and they definitely do a lot more damage. Alright, so we did points, not as good in this game. We did some damage. One destroyed. And I'm going to go over here to this credits and XP, and I just kind of want to explain that right now we don't have any added bonuses for our credits, but we did spend some. So like I said, on this, if we click down, it'll tell us our services and our ammunition resupply for a grand total of 1,800. These are our points, and if you notice, we have this Warships premium account, so we did receive more credits. It didn't limit our actual spent. In some cases, it will get into clans and stuff. It'll change that, but you notice our actual credits here are a lot higher than without the premium account, and we also got a lot more XP as well. So let's go back to port. You notice we now have a new option.
Access level 3 unlocked. Select random battles and fight against other players.
So random battles.
To unlock the next access level, play 2 battles.
So random battles are player versus player. You do still sometimes get bots, but I would say early on in the game, stick with co-op because it is kind of a training way to play this game. Let's go ahead and go to details for our new tutorial mission. So it says to play a random battle, and we will do that. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to be ending out this particular stream today. I don't have a lot of time, but I just wanted to go over some of the major basics. You notice we actually got quite a bit of coin now, and that is from bonuses, that is from playing the game. You know, when we finish, let's go back to our tutorial mission. So when we actually finish these tutorials, we are given actual things, either containers. This particular one that's coming up is 20,000 credits, which is quite a bit. And as you get further into the game, it unlocks a lot more options. I wanted to go into profile though before I go, and you notice this is the same thing that we're seeing every time we unlock an achievement. So if we go back, our level 1 basically is, hey, we're playing a co-op battle, and then it's saying, hey, we need to research and random battle. So each one of these that you do, it's going to unlock a new achievement that you need to do. And if you look at it, it'll tell you this is what we need to do. We need to play a random battle in a 12v12, and you basically are just playing one. And for doing that, we're going to get 1.5 million credits. As you go further, there is a limit to these, and it'll tell you what they are. So signals, and this is basically a way of giving you a tutorial on how to play the game. There are 16 of these, if we can get to them. Once you get to there's 17 of them, you can go into clan battles. I don't think you can get clans until level like 12. The campaigns, so these are all the different modes, upgrades. Yeah, so we'll go through these as we continue on with this series. Achievements, we don't have any achievements right now, but these will all come from playing games either in co-op or random or ranked, operations, asymmetric, and if you hover over, it'll tell you exactly what you need to do. So basically, if you stand alone against 4 enemy ships and win the battle, you'll get solo warrior. This is a summary of what we've done so far. We've played 3 games. We've had victories 100% of the time. This is our total experience, and this basically will give you everything you need to know about what you've done. If you click on a particular ship, it'll tell you everything about that ship that you've done since you've gotten that ship. So you notice with our Hashidate, 1 battle, we got experience, and this is everything we did here. Okay, so we'll go back to port, and I think that's everything we're going to cover today in today's episode. Is basically how to start the game, what a lot of the tabs and buttons, simple instructions, and how to fire, how to aim. I think in a few episodes we will go over mods just to kind of show you how to get mods and what they do. There are hundreds of mods for this game, and they are all legal. World of Warships actually has its own modding station where you can download mods for your game, and they are 100% legal to play. There are secondary mods that you can get from other creators. We'll go over that in others. Most of those are legitimate, I don't want to say licensed, but approved by World of Warships or Wargaming to be able to play. Be careful with some of them. Some of them do alter the game and are considered cheating, and no one likes a cheater. So for today, I wish everyone a good day, and I hope that we're doing well. Stay tuned. There'll be more coming in this series. So thank you for watching, and have a good day.